The ancient civilizations of Egypt, Greece, China, India, and Persia all engaged in the philosophical study of psychology. In ancient Egypt, the Ebers papyrus mentioned depression and thought disorders. Historians note that Greek philosophers, including Thales, Plato, and Aristotle, especially in his De Anima treatise, addressed the workings of the mind. As early as the 4th century BC, the Greek physician Hippocrates theorized that mental disorders had physical rather than supernatural causes. In 387 BCE, Plato suggested that the brain is where mental processes take place. And in 335 BCE, Aristotle suggested that it was the heart. In China, psychological understanding grew from the philosophical works of Laozi and Confucius, and later from the doctrines of Buddhism. This body of knowledge involves insights drawn from introspection and observation, as well as techniques for focused thinking and acting. It frames the universe in terms of a division of physical reality and mental reality, as well as the interaction between the physical and the mental. Chinese philosophy also emphasized purifying the mind in order to increase virtue and power. An ancient text known as the Yellow Emperor's Classic of Internal Medicine identifies the brain as the nexus of wisdom and sensation. Includes theories of personality based on yin-yang balance, and analyzes mental disorder in terms of physiological and social disequilibria. Chinese scholarship that focused on the brain advanced during the Qing dynasty with the work of Western-educated Fan Yizhi, 1611–1671, Lu Ji, 1660–1730, and Wang Qinggren, 1768–1831. Wang Qinggren emphasized the importance of the brain as the center of the nervous system. Linked mental disorder with brain diseases. Investigated the causes of dreams and insomnia. And advanced a theory of hemispheric lateralization in brain function. Influenced by Hinduism, Indian philosophy explored distinctions in types of awareness. A central idea of the Upanishads and other Vedic texts that formed the foundations of Hinduism was the distinction between a person's transient mundane self and their eternal, unchanging soul. Divergent Hindu doctrines and Buddhism have challenged this hierarchy of selves, but have all emphasized the importance of reaching higher awareness. Yoga encompasses a range of techniques used in pursuit of this goal. Theosophy, a religion established by Russian-American philosopher Helena Blavatsky, drew inspiration from these doctrines during her time in British India. Psychology was of interest to Enlightenment thinkers in Europe. In Germany, Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, 1646–1716, applied his principles of calculus to the mind, arguing that mental activity took place on an indivisible continuum. He suggested that the difference between conscious and unconscious awareness is only a matter of degree. Christian Wolff identified psychology as its own science, writing Psychologia Empirica in 1732 and Psychologia Rationalis in 1734. Immanuel Kant advanced the idea of anthropology as a discipline, with psychology an important subdivision. Kant, however, explicitly rejected the idea of an experimental psychology, writing that the empirical doctrine of the soul can also never approach chemistry even as a systematic art of analysis or experimental doctrine. For in it the manifold of inner observation can be separated only by mere division in thought, and cannot then be held separate and recombined at will. But still less does another thinking subject suffer himself to be experimented upon to suit our purpose. And even observation by itself already changes and displaces the state of the observed object. In 1783, Ferdinand Überwasser, 1752–1812, designated himself professor of empirical psychology and logic and gave lectures on scientific psychology. Though these developments were soon overshadowed by the Napoleonic Wars. At the end of the Napoleonic era, Prussian authorities discontinued the old University of Munster, having consulted philosophers Hegel and Herbert. However, in 1825 the Prussian state established psychology as a mandatory discipline in its rapidly expanding and highly influential educational system. However, this discipline did not yet embrace experimentation. In England, early psychology involved phrenology and the response to social problems including alcoholism, violence, and the country's crowded, lunatic asylums.